It looks like this man has crashed his car. He has crashed his white car. But maybe if he had driven more carefully, he would not have crashed his car. I think so. He would not have crashed his car if he had driven more carefully. If he had been more careful, he wouldn't have crashed. No, maybe if he had watched where he was driving, he wouldn't have crashed his car either. Maybe if he had kept his eyes on the road, he wouldn't have crashed his car. Silly guy. This guy has dropped some bread on the floor. And maybe if he had been more careful, he wouldn't have dropped the bread on the floor. If he had paid attention to what he was doing, he wouldn't have dropped bread on the floor. This man is very bored with his job. Look at his face. He is not enjoying his job. He finds his job very boring. But, maybe if he had studied harder at university, if he had studied harder at school, maybe he could have chosen a job that he found really exciting. He could have chosen a job he enjoyed if he had studied harder when he was younger. Or maybe if he had chosen a job that he found exciting, he wouldn't have gotten so bored with his job. Maybe he should have chosen a job that he found exciting instead of a job that pays lots of money. On the other hand, this man here, he likes his job. He's got a big smile on his face because he loves his job. But maybe if he hadn't studied so hard at school, he wouldn't have gotten such a good job that he enjoys so much. Could be true. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten this job if he hadn't studied so much at school. It's very possible. This man is very wet. As you can see, he is walking in the rain. But if he had brought an umbrella, he wouldn't have gotten wet like this. Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten this wet if he had brought an umbrella with him. But he didn't. Maybe if he had checked the weather forecast, he would not have gotten soaked like he is now. He is absolutely soaked. He's really wet. He's soaked. And if he had checked the weather forecast before he left the house, he would not have gotten so soaked. So, he would not have gotten his hair would not have gotten wet if he had brought a raincoat with a hood with him. If he had bought a raincoat or if he had brought an umbrella with him, he would not have gotten his hair wet. He would not have gotten his shoes wet. And he would not have gotten all of his clothes soaking wet. This couple is having an argument in the kitchen. I do not know what they are arguing about. However, maybe if this man had given more compliments to his wife, maybe they would not have gotten into an argument. Maybe this would not have happened. Maybe this would not have happened if he had given her more compliments. Maybe. Or maybe it's the woman's fault. Maybe if the woman had not nagged his husband so much. Nag, 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 nag. Do this, do that. That's not good enough. Nag. Maybe if she had not nagged him so much, maybe this argument would not have started. Maybe they would have both been happier. Or maybe it's the boyfriend and the girlfriend's fault. Maybe if they had behaved differently in the past, maybe this argument would not have happened. Maybe. Let's think about Facebook. I want you to imagine if Facebook had never been invented. If Facebook had never been invented, what would have happened differently? Alternative history. We can look at alternative history. If Facebook had never been invented, if Facebook had never been created, maybe the world would have gone differently. Maybe if Facebook had never been created, Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, would not have gotten so rich. He would not have become a millionaire or a billionaire. You know, Mark Zuckerberg would not have become a billionaire if he hadn't made Facebook when he was younger. Definitely. If he hadn't made Facebook, he wouldn't have become a billionaire. No way. To be honest, I think that if Facebook had never been invented, if Mark Zuckerberg had never invented Facebook, I think that another social media would have been invented instead, with a different name. This was the Euro 2024 final between Spain and England. And guess what? England lost the final 2-1. But you know, England could have won. They really could have won. I think they could have won if they had chosen a different manager for the team. The manager's name was Gareth Southgate. I do not think he was a very good football manager for England. If they hadn't chosen Gareth Southgate, maybe England could have won the Euros finals. Maybe if England had tried a bit harder in the final, they would not have lost. Maybe. Or maybe if England had played a bit more creatively, you know? If they had played the game a bit more creatively, if they had taken more chances, if they had tried to shoot more often in the game, maybe they would not have lost this game. Maybe they would have won. They could have won, to be honest. They could have won if they had played differently. They could have won if they had played differently. Now, what about this video? If you had not watched this video, you would not have learned about the third conditional tense in English. You would not have improved your English skills if you had not clicked on this video. If you hadn't clicked on this video, you wouldn't have improved your skills, your English skills. But thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you've learned something about the third conditional tense, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.